just getting back into YouTube and I can't come up with any ideas. I need to come up with something original.
Why don't you do a top 10 video, Lawrence? I think that'll get you lots of them views you like so much. You could do a Star Wars credits roll, with some bullshit story on it. That's bound to get someone to watch your video.
What if I did a top 10 video, but with like a Star Wars credit roll at the beginning?
God, what a fucking amateur.
Oh, that's a fucking amazing idea. That's fucking awesome. Oh my god, I better go. Oh fuck yes, this is genius. I'm gonna get billions of views.
A few moments later.
Starting with number 10.
Darvanis is first on our list today. Now, Darvanis is located in Hutt space, rather far away from all other sources of life in the known galaxy. However, Darvanis does have one of the smallest leveling zones. It is a really small map, there is not much to it, but it is still really in-depth with its lore, and the scenery is just fantastic. Another point which is definitely in Darvanis' favour is the continuous conflict between the Sky Troopers and the Mandalorians. It really adds to the atmosphere and makes you feel like you're engaging in the planet. Of course, that's not all. There is also an amazing ops called Scum and Villainy, which is by far my favourite ops for a specific reason: the first boss. You cannot go a single raid without hearing this. Yep, Caleb, I'm looking at you, inside references aside, this song is annoying as fuck. Right, enough of that. Anyway, Darvanis has a really engaging storyline, an amazing ops, and a beautiful atmosphere that's all enhanced by the continuous banter between the Mandalorians, and yes, I use the word banter very willingly, because the Mandalorians are just simply badass. Now, to put the cherry on top, there are a whole bunch of blank locations with no mobs on Darvanis, so RPers can come and freely RP, unless they want to go inside, in which case there are no interiors. Thanks, EA.
Number 9.
Alderaan is 9th on our list today because it is a beautiful planet. It has the best scenery in the game by far and has an amazing conquest line all about killing commanders, great heroics, and really interesting mobs to kill. Alderaan's also the preferred choice for you open world PvPers. Back in the days of alpha, beta and early launch, PvP was all you would see on Alderaan. It was crazy. Everywhere you went would be packed with Jedi and Sith players fighting it out in a battle of mayhem outside each other's camps. If you were trying to level here like I was, it was hell. But it was something I'd always remember, and even to this day there is a lot of PvP going on here. Guilds still arrange events to kick each other's asses, and in terms of conquest, it is really fun to see those points stack up as you slay and kick the shit out of Jedi players. It is something that has to be experienced in SWTOR. Even at its core, Alderaan still has some of the best heroics of all time. The Lana Question, Insufficient Staff, both of them were exceptional heroics. Still to this day, I fly around on my jetpack around the lakes of Alderaan wondering what could have been.
Number 8.
Belsavis, Belsavis, of course, is 8th on our list today because this planet is both hated and loved at the same time by the entire SWTOR community. Belsavis is best known for its tedious, oversaturated mob zones and its tedious and equally as annoying raid Eternity Vault, which, if you were around in 1.5 days, will know it took a lot to get the gear. You'd have to grind it 10-20 times before you saw your chess piece. But I will not be focusing on the negatives. The reason I love Belsavis is because it has an exceptional world boss, as you saw just then, and it has a really engaging storyline. The whole idea of having to save the Dreadmasters from prison is incredibly interesting, and the entire bonus series in general, well, I'll let you see for yourself.
Inside Denise! Help!
The Rakata technology we seek causes this madness.
So yeah, even though Belsavis looks like a pair of Spaceballs, I'd strongly suggest going giving it a try.
Number 7.
Zakul takes its place at 7th on this list for being one of the coolest planets in Star Wars The Old Republic. It came out last year with the Fallen Empire expansion, and since then we have seen this planet grow and all these new features added, like the Eternal Throne. Now this is going to be one of the coolest expansions of all time when it comes out. I've got my fingers crossed for an ops, but there's so much happening with this planet at the moment, I could not leave it out of this list. Now already, Zakul has some really interesting features. The most noteworthy of these features is the Eternal Championship, where you get thrown in the ring against other bosses and you have to go through each boss single-handedly until you get to the last boss, and every time you defeat enough bosses you get some points, and those points can be put into buying unique pieces of armor or even buying the bosses themselves to come to your stronghold, and you can have them as your servants and you can make them do your bidding and such, and it's really just awesome. As I've also said, the story arc on Zakul is really cool, but it does go into some real depth, and the character development is just superb, and I don't want to give away any spoilers, but you seriously need to go check this out.
Number 6.
Yavin 4 quite easily takes 6th place on my list. Not only is Yavin 4 an exceptional planet, it has a really good daily rotation, the weeklies are great and they don't get too boring over time, the legend status rewards really encourage you to keep working at the planet, and it has an exceptional ops. And I know I use exceptional a lot, but Yavin's Shadow of Revan Templar Sacrifice ops is just beautiful. All the boss fights are distinctive and unique and have certain patterns and are actually quite challenging on hard mode. I know for a fact me and my guild got stuck on Revan for quite some time. Yavin also has its fair share of Easter eggs and unique bosses and hidden secrets and various mysteries that are yet to be unanswered or have been answered on wiki forums, but to the average player, no one can really interpret or understand what's going on this crazy, wacky mystery planet. It just adds so much drama and intensity to the game, and it immerses you in a daily planet, and no other game can say, "Oh, my players enjoy our dailies." No, SWTOR alone seems to be able to hold it with just Yavin. I mean, you can sit here and just look at it. Yavin is beautiful. The flora everywhere just really brings it to life, and is one of these planets you just have to explore for yourself and try and learn to enjoy, because it is actually really fun.
Number 5.
Tatooine takes the 5th spot on this list. Not only does Tatooine have an exceptional storyline, but all the class arcs start improving drastically around Tatooine. If you use the Sith Warrior as an example, the entire start of the Sith Warrior campaign is learning about your relationship with your master and understanding the Sith code. But the second you get to Tatooine, it sort of takes off your training wheels and you go on this huge adventure going into the in-depth story of Barriss. This applies to almost all the class missions. Not only do the class arcs start improving on Tatooine, but the boss fights, the events, the PvP zones. If I just go into Outlaw's Den, for example, the PvP there back in Alpha Beta was ludicrous. I mean, it's come down a bit in the current day, but before, the PvP was just brilliant, and I'd love to bring it to its former glory. To show you more of the events, I just want you to take a look at this.
Attention Republic citizens. The Interstellar Travel Council reminds everyone there is a Level 1 emergency alert for the planet Tatooine. The Rakghoul plague outbreak continues to spread and represents a major hazard to everyone on the planet and in nearby systems.
Number 4.
Oricon very easily takes 4th place on this list. Not only is Oricon one of my personal favourite planets, but Oricon is very diverse in the sense that it is the only true planet where you feel like a Sith. It has this hellish and dark atmosphere that, combined with the daily and weekly quests and the solo bosses you get in those quests, actually gives you this feel of nostalgia to Star Wars Galaxies and the feeling of, hey, I'm actually a Sith. Yeah! Not only that, there are actually some really cool bosses in the game and good operations such as Dread Fortress and Dread Palace, 2 of the most beloved opses in Star Wars The Old Republic, and is actually preferred, based on my guild, and that's a good 300 people, all of them will agree with me, that Dread Fortress and Dread Palace were the two most interesting opses ever put into the Star Wars universe. I mean, some of us would argue Ravengers was pretty good, but we were very determined to say outright that Dread Fortress and Dread Palace had very engaging bosses. The baddies, the actual bosses, actually felt like badasses. We actually sat there and shaked and went, shit, they're actually badass. They're not like some chumps for us to grind. It has meaning, and everything about this planet is hell. It is the Star Wars equivalent of hell, the Sith of the Sith, if you will. And not to forget, it has some pretty good loot.
Number 3.
Rishi takes it a third. Basically, Rishi is the sole embodiment of what I would call Pirate Bay. It has great rewards, it has a really good PvP scene with a great war zone, a good operation called Ravengers, which I mentioned earlier, and I would seriously suggest trying if you got yourself a guild available. There are really cool and engaging landscapes, multiple layers and gangs that just gank you from nowhere, and you really feel like you're part of the pirate scene. Also, there are some actually cool achievements that you want to go out and get. I mean, I spent some time doing these achievements and I enjoyed them. But enough from me, I think you should take a look at this.
Done pretty well for yourselves, but you're in the arena now.
We fight for Riven! Your raid ends here, my Republic friends.
You wanna fight? You gotta fight!
As you can tell from that, Rishi is a really damn cool planet. The AI behaviour is unique and distinctive. You get packs of raptors running around the place, gangs showing up out of nowhere. It really adds to the atmosphere, and I think Rishi definitely deserves third place on this top 10 list.
Number 2.
Voss I have chosen for second place purely because of the planet's beauty, to be honest, and how well it runs through with the heroic fours and how fun it is to level on with a group of people. Now, ultimately, this top 10 is about the best zones to level in, and honestly, I think Voss is got to be up there. It is fun to level in. Agreeably, there are no raids or operations, anything like that, but there's the odd heroic, and if you have a group of 4 of you running about, there's enough content to sort of entertain you for a long enough period of time. And if you're into RP, and if you're into sort of getting into the landscape of Voss, the planet in general is actually magnificent. It is beautiful. It has really nice autumn textures that are surprisingly HD considering they haven't been updated since release. Well, there was actually a small update around the time of 2.1 with the Rise of the Hutt Cartel, but it was minor. It was literally just some of the leaves and the textures of the monsters. But graphics aside, when you're walking around Voss and doing the quests, you feel immersed because the landscape and the mobs and the balance and harmony of the planet just pulls you straight in and immerses you there and then. So, if you get some free time around level 40, I'd seriously recommend going and checking out Voss.
Number 1.
Nar Shaddaa takes its rightful place on the throne at first. It is by far my favourite planet because, well, I have to show you. I mean, just look at this. Okay, agreeably I took it a little bit too far there. You should never give me a means to edit, and then the ability to do the edit. Anyway, taking us back on topic, Nar Shaddaa to me is one of my favourite planets because it's such an open space, multiple levels, multiple places to go, really fun and engaging sections like the Duros sector and the Krellian sector, always something going on with the cartel or the gangs. It is just a really immersive and engaging planet. One of the pinnacle features that stands out to me, of course, other than the promenade, which is the party district, is the housing on Nar Shaddaa. Who does not want to live in their own sky palace? I mean, it's just amazing. On top of that, the events on Nar Shaddaa are just brilliant. I'll wrap the video up with this. Take a look. So there we are, everyone loves a good old gambling event. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of LorOnline. This is my very first top 10. I'd like to see what you think of it. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below suggesting what I should do next. And I hope you have a good one. I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.
welcome to the outro. Look at these effects. These are some sexy effects. Oh yeah, that's it baby. Be sure to hit that sub button for more weekly content. I hope you enjoy the video and I'll see you next time. Voice of the man out. Peace.